inoperation due to leakage in the manifold back into that position. And so we are in operation at this point, and we're not sure why the transducer, it's what's called a pressure transducer, we're not sure why that failed to turn off the pump. But what we think happened is that the pump, and what we observed happening, is that the pump was running the lift station dry. And so the pump would just run and run and run, and then overheat, trip the
So
breaker.
it wasn't
shutting off at the low level. And
Wow.
so Brad Simons is aware of it. The engineer that provided the equipment is aware of it, and we're working on it. At this point, we're operating off of the floats. We have a backup system there, fortunately, with some floats. And so we'll be observing that station on a daily basis just to verify. And then sometime next week, we did order the part that's leaking on the other pump. And fortunately, many months ago, AJ and I decided to have the old pump that burnt out maybe 8 months ago, rebuilt. And that cost us about $3,000. So we have an extra pump, and we will put that in next week. And so hopefully we're operating.
Was that pump a new pump in the lift station, or was it?
Yes, in the
So it should be under
$250,000 infrastructure
Right.
improvement,
Right.
20 months old. We had that first pump fail.
Right.
They said, well, that's impossible. The manufacturer of the pump said that's impossible. And then their certified repair shop said, no, this is what happened. So they opted to just replace the pump. They sent us a brand new pump.
And that's
then-
what's failed now.
No, that one's intact and
Okay.
operational. It's the other old one that failed.
Okay.
But it may not be a problem with the pump as much as it is the level sensors.
That's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
if this
So-
happened before, yeah.
And
Well, we don't know what
triggered it.
happened before is the shaft bent inside the pump, and that's what caused it to fail.
Okay.
So this one, the second one, we've observed the lift station running low, so there's no water. It just sucks all the water out, and that's the water's what cools it.
Right.
So it's really a
And so,
Puzzle.
and then when you said telemetry was not working, it wasn't telling you what was happening?
yeah. Well, we've seen hiccups in it. Now this time actually it did work, but we have not been able to rely on it to the degree that we can just not observe it on site.
Is that part of the
The upgrade.
software?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because we'll have actual alarms that sound, they'll go to your phone, and you'll know you have a high level at one of these lift stations, and hopefully we can get to it with a much quicker response.
Good.
So,
So, I've got Lindsay on the phone, and I was thinking we have a little bit of time before we're scheduled to get to the budget.
I was about to bring up something in operations.
Sure.
Well, and there's another item on the agenda in operations.
I know, I was
Okay.
recommending that we go to the financials and come back.
So this
Oh,
was
okay,
But-
all right.
and then you
another
can-
one. That pipe break near my house, somebody claimed to have tried to call the emergency number and they didn't answer 3 times. And then when he called me then and I called Mark and we came and had a look at the pipe that had broken.
Mhm.
And he tried to call, Mark tried to call. We had to wait nearly 3 minutes before they answered.
Really?
And so, and this was on a Sunday or Saturday, I think, I can't remember, Sunday.
yeah, and I've heard that, and I've heard it before, and I don't think that that's unreasonable.
3-minute wait.
A 3-minute wait.
Well,
I mean,
I
it's
actually,
it's not ideal, but the service is stellar in most regards. Every now and then they get backed up on weekends, and
and they said they were not busy.
well,
Oh,
then maybe there's some other type of problem.
Well, you know, if I'm calling an emergency, it
Just
doesn't
look into
answer
it,
after
yes.
3 minutes, I'm not gonna follow through. I'm not gonna sit around for 3 minutes waiting for a phone to ring. And I think it's unacceptable myself,
I would agree with that.
but anyway.
Well, we'll look into it.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard complaints about the service before.
yeah.
I've contacted them, they seem very professional, without being, I know, what I do know is that they record every phone call that comes in. If they're not answering the phone in a timely manner, then that's another issue, and we'll look into it.
Yeah, the question I would have for them, or for us to look at is, what is their promised level of service? I mean, if they've promised to answer within 5 minutes, and they're answering within 3, then.
Yeah, I
have the
think
3
you just
person.
nailed it. That's really what we need to know.
If they, and we should know that we should have a standard and tell them what we expect, or we should know what the agreement is.
I mean,
Because I agree with you, I think it ought to be,
After, more than two minutes of the phone ringing, you think there's nobody there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it should be in their agreement.
So
that there
Stephen
should
will
be
check
a-
with them on
Well,
what.
actually, oftentimes they say that their operators are busy, and so they'll leave you waiting, so that their
Well, I mean,
service
They
has
tell you that,
answered.
and you can.
The service has answered, and it says the operator is busy.
Well, definitely the
We'll
guy
get
that
to you in
reported
line.
it to me, he said he tried 3 times. The longest time he was on the phone was for 5 minutes and nothing happened. And then he called me after the 3rd attempt.
So you need to call them and find out what's going on and tell them what kind
Yeah.
of service.
Or find out what their standard is and what our expectation is, and let's see if we've got it all. If it all makes sense.
Should we just
We've
call
got a
you if we have a
disconnect.
problem?
Yeah,
Well,
we
it
can
seems
call
like
you.
it.
Um,
Then I'll call Michael.
So in the interest of, kind of moving things along, I would recommend that we review the financials and then go straight into the budget. And then following that budget review, we'll open up the public hearing for the budget. So Lindsay, are you on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi,
Can you,
Morning.
I would like to, and we have just a few minutes, but, and we could go a little over, but can you take us through the unaudited financials first, and then we'll go to the draft budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody have the financials out?
You,
All right, so on the first page is scheduled cash position.
can you turn her up
August
just a little bit?
31st,
Yeah, please.
we had $169,008 in the operations account.
Too much?
The market account had $185,595. And the debt service liquid asset account had $220,324, leaving us with operating cash of $574,928. Our call loan trust account had a balance of $1,296,816, and all of our DOLA funds and SRS funds have been received, so they no longer show on that cash position page. Any questions?
okay.
All right. On the balance sheet, general fund has current assets of $388,187. Liabilities of $86,095.99 for a fund balance of $302,091. The enterprise fund has current assets of $241,437. We have liabilities. We have payroll withholdings, fines payable, that credit of $252 is a vendor invoice, a negative that the next time they invoice, we'll take that from their invoice. So total current liabilities, $125,472 for a fund balance of $115,965. The debt service has current assets of $315,398, the same as the ending fund balance. And our capital projects has total current assets of $1,291,513. We have a liability to the general fund in the amount of $84,875, leaving us with a fund balance of $1,206,680. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, moving to the general fund. October had total revenue of $22,173 for a year-to-date number of $712,044. We had total expenses for the period of $16,073 for a year-to-date of $198,503, leaving us with an ending fund balance of $302,091. Any questions?
Nope.
Moving to the enterprise fund. October had $45,542 in revenue, for a year-to-date number of $498,118. We had operations expenses of $22,240, leaving our year-to-date expenses at $188,781. We are about 75% to our budget, so that's about right for another quarter left.
Can we just go back a second to the general fund where we're at about 90% of property taxes? Are we going to get any more property taxes this year, or?
We'll continue to
We
receive
will.
property taxes. Typically by this time of year, we have more than 90%.
Right.
But I think we're just having some issues with working with the county.
Okay, good, thanks.
Uh-huh.
All right, so our total repairs and maintenance for the period is $6,328. For a year-to-date of $57,351. Again, repairs and maintenance were about 75% of our budget. So the utilities period is $10,265. Year-to-date, $81,701. We're slightly over budget there.
And I don't know that that's necessarily alarming, because some of our highest water pumping periods are behind us. And I think we have a spike in the summer months where we're really pumping at well 18, and that drives the utility cost hugely. Yeah.
I mean, if we're at 82% and we've only got 2 months to go.
You've got 3 really.
3.
Yeah.
This is from October.
Yeah, these are actually, most of these are through September's expenses paid in October.
Mhm. So
So
we've got 3
there's,
months.
we have October, November, and December expenses still left.
And we put that in the 2013 budget now that we know the utilities are going to be.
Yeah, we did a projection based on the historical use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but, really, do you really have 3 months? And the reason I ask that is your December expenses are gonna be paid in January. I mean, we've paid 10 months of expenses.
They're accrued back, though.
Yeah, we
Okay,
accrue them
Okay,
in
okay.
December, and then when we pay them in January, we basically reverse them out. So your
Okay.
January financials
So it
will
will be-
essentially show almost no cost at all for January financials.
okay,
You'll have very little period cost in January.
okay, great, thank you.
It's kind of confusing when they do that, but it's how we
Yeah.
have to do it for governmental.
Right.
And then total payroll for the period, $46,019. Year-to-date is $312,413. We're a little over on the percentage, but we think that that has more to do with the fact that we had summer labor as the year progresses. We should be okay there. Fund balance is $115,965. Any questions? Moving to the debt service fund, we had revenue of $44 in interest.
Wow.
Pardon.
Brings our year-to-date revenue to $214,841. We have total expenses of $179,302, leaving our ending fund balance at $315,398. Our debt service payment will be scheduled for December 1st. So we have 2 payments coming up. And our capital project fund. Did anybody have any questions there? Sorry.
No, we're good.
Okay.
On the
Capital
variance,
project, we had total revenue-
Wait.
Lindsay, there's one
Thank you.
question.
Well, the variance in the
These must have
pending
changed.
fund balance is substantial.
Where are you on the,
On the last one, you just went.
6.
The debt service fund.
So for
Bottom
the,
line,
yeah, the variance in the debt service fund.
Uh-huh.
it-
That is because we haven't made
Those
our debt
payments.
service payment for December. once we make the debt service payment for December, it'll all come back into line. It's just showing that our, we have a higher ending fund balance now than the budget projected.
Right, we've got
Because we have revenue that we haven't spent right now.
more money in the fund than what is budgeted for the year. We have one more payment to make, and that'll correct it.
Okay, all right, great.
On the capital project fund, we have a revenue of, interest revenue of $293 for the month, bringing our total revenue to $130,263. We had total expenses of $20,847. That looks really low because of the retainage that we were able to bring back. Is that without a liability, so it hit this fund, so that's why it reduced our expenses. Our year-to-date expenses are $382,409, leaving us with an ending fund balance of $1,206,638. Questions here?
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Since